the right time. Cavalry has arrived. This court phase might be taken down. It's coming down.
The tables have turned. It is
So many Beyblades!
Hi, I'm Sean Day9 Plot from Day9 TV, and we're here at MLG Anaheim to get a sense of what the esports community is like. How'd you get into Starcraft II?
Well, I played Starcraft I since I was about 14.
That's professional StarCraft. That's something that they can do that I can't do.
Do you consider yourself the best Protoss player in the world right now?
Of course, why not?
Thousands of fans will spend the next few days watching the best players in the world compete in a number of tournaments, including the headline event, Starcraft II. For the past 15 years, the esports community has rallied behind this fast-paced, real-time strategy game that pits two players in the heat of futuristic warfare. It not only tests one's speed and agility, but also their knowledge of strategy and tactics. Since StarCraft's inception in the late 1990s, alliances formed to create dream teams of professional players who have dominated the tournaments, as countless opponents from across the globe have vied for the title of StarCraft champion. The community that is built up around these tournaments has produced not only a thriving fan base, but also several professional StarCraft leagues, numerous esports commentators, and an independent event scene that has spread worldwide. It all started when Blizzard Entertainment decided to make a new real-time strategy game called Starcraft. Starcraft development began in 1996, and while it was a new universe for Blizzard Entertainment, it was based on all the lessons learned from their previous RTS games, Warcraft and Warcraft II. After some experimentation, the company honed in on a clean, isometric game that pit three warring races on a futuristic battlefield, where they must collect resources,
not enough minerals,
construct a base,
I read you.
build up an army,
Oh yeah.
and then find and destroy their opponents. Whether choosing the scrappy Terrans, ferocious swarming Zerg, or the powerful enigmatic Protoss, players fight for strategic positions on the map, looking for any opportunity to take advantage of a strength or an opponent's weakness to get ahead in the battle. But when the expansion pack for StarCraft I was released, Blizzard developers began noticing a change in the player community.
Paul Sams, our COO, was out in Korea, and he came back with pictures of people dressing up like Hydralisks and Protoss units and Terran units, and suddenly it was on a whole nother level.
When the original StarCraft was made, it was designed to be a great game, but it wasn't necessarily designed specifically to be an esport. That was something the community showed us what it could be, how it could be done, and they made that happen.
I remember thinking back then that StarCraft was like an interesting game to watch for sure, but it hadn't quite reached esports level. But when the Koreans started first playing it, guys like Slayers, Boxer, Nada, all those guys, like, yeah, it blew my mind. Those guys took it to a whole nother level. They made it a professional occupation.
Watching these players compete with one another at this level that we had not designed the game at, really. We never tested that in these guys' hands, moving over the keys and moving the UI so much. I just thought the game was going to crash, you know.
These professional gamers were a unique breed. They brought a skill and focus to their game that most other players simply could not. For example, in StarCraft, your APM, or actions per minute, is a quantitative indicator of how fast you can issue commands on the battlefield.
Yeah, on his keyboard.
Man, he's got so much APM, he broke his keyboard. That's hardcore.
A little bit of emergency surgery.
Professional players could maintain up to 300 actions per minute during an entire match of StarCraft. That's 5 keystrokes every second for matches that can last for over an hour.
StarCraft is absolutely a game of inches. It's not like when you get blown out, you were actually that much worse. You just made a few mistakes that you shouldn't have made, and now you're going to get to lose maybe big.
As StarCraft's popularity grew in Korea, new players came from many other countries to compete for the glory of being the best in the world.
Watching these guys play is absolutely inspiring, and in many ways they're all our favorites. Like, it's just amazing to watch these guys play.
But it wasn't just the pros who were pushing the limits of the game. PC bongs, or gaming cafes, sprang up all over Korea, giving amateur players an opportunity to compete with each other, strategize, and learn the secrets of the pros. This fueled the rise in popularity and skills of the players, and drove Starcraft eSports even further into the global mainstream.
It was really great to see everyone, really rally behind the players, get really excited, and that's when I feel like eSports really started to take off outside of Korea, where it had always done pretty well.
In 2007, at the Blizzard Worldwide Invitational in Seoul, Korea, fans were in for a surprise with the announcement of Blizzard's newest title, Starcraft II.
드디어 올 것이 왔군.
Are you ready for Starcraft II?
Starcraft II was released in 2010 to much praise. While it continued the same storyline from the original Starcraft, it would also soon become the standard RTS game for competitive esports.
With Starcraft II, we looked at the game from the beginning and said, okay, we want this to be an esport. We want to make it successful. So, let's focus on things like readability, esports balance, on esports features.
The game was built for this. The game was constructed thinking about things like broadcast, observer mode, being able to tell the story of what's going on, not just in-game, but also then latching into the historical stories of the players.
But Starcraft II has really been able to reach out to a bigger audience, a broader audience. More sponsors are getting involved, more companies and restaurants, and lots of additional interest is coming into Starcraft II.
I think with Starcraft II, it has shown that it's really expanded out to become an international phenomenon.
I said to everybody in the company, I was like, Starcraft II is going to be our flagship game. It's the first time we've had something that's got the built-in community and the tools that we're going to be able to do exactly what we've always dreamt of.
Over the last few years, there have been a number of star players to rise from the ranks and show off their particular skills, strategies, and unique playing styles to become StarCraft champions.
And there's people out there whose full-time job is to play StarCraft or to prepare StarCraft or whatever. And it's just amazing to imagine people are creating careers out of this game, and it's extremely humbling.
It really has changed my life. It's given me a job. It's given me everything I wanted. Like, it's allowed me to travel to the US. It's allowed me to travel the world.
And our dream was to travel the world, to see different people, and to compete on the biggest stages. And now in Starcraft II, we're able to do that. I'm in Anaheim now, and I'm going to be in Sweden soon. It's a dream come true.
Fruit dealer. Here's this guy who was very passionate about the game, practiced it a lot, and basically was helping his family pay the bills by selling fruit. His name, Fruit Dealer, came from this story, and he, as a pro gamer, made a bunch of money out there, got a chance to fly out to the US. All these things came from his skills in playing this game.
All of the energy these guys are pouring into this game and pouring into the entertainment that they're creating around this game is absolutely amazing.
And there's one other thing it's guaranteed to be fantastic, DJ. Wait. Just a little strategy game by the name of Starcraft II!
Pro players aren't the only ones to benefit from the rise in esports. Professional shoutcasting has become as popular as playing the game itself.
Well, StarCraft kind of became my life. I moved to Korea to pursue commentating, actually. And after following the Korean scene, I knew that StarCraft was what I wanted to do with my life. So I just continued on and on and on.
I had made 800 videos in a year, so I don't know the math on that. It's a couple videos every day for an entire year. I absolutely loved it, and it's what I would spend almost all my free time doing, because I totally enjoyed it. It was a hobby.
It was almost by luck, I don't know, an accident, a happy accident, that my coaching was all done via audio. Eventually, one of the teammates said, hey, you should do this like it's a sports cast, and I did, and sort of that was that.
So StarCraft's actually who I am. It's really transformed the way that I see the world, and that's from the way the game works and how it challenges me, and then also outside of the game, how that's impacted the way that my life is set up.
Since the countdown has begun,
Oh my
I am
God.
so stoked. Game
It's game
9.
time.
Live events have seen a tremendous rise in attendance across all continents. There are now dozens of live, major esports events taking place around the world each year, with the largest tournaments attracting as many as 20,000 or more attendees.
You think about the first events that we saw with StarCraft II, where there's a good amount of people, but then the people in the community were like, well, gosh, I want to be a part of that. And then they came, and then they told their buddies, and they wanted to be a part of that. And it truly seemed like the snowball effect.
Just the energy that happens in these big forums when you get all of these gamers together to watch a game they really love is just It's absolutely amazing.
Last year at MLG Anaheim, like I went and I got to watch live, and it's like standing room only. There's like so many people there watching StarCraft. The Boxer versus Rain game went for like over an hour and a half. And like there was this epic battle, and everyone was on their feet just screaming at like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is going on.
To see that many people excited about StarCraft II and esports, and then to feel like I was part of it, that was epic.
And that's the thing, is this ability to create these moments where you say, I was there when. I was there when, you know, Huck won after the Koreans had been involved. I was there when Boxer played his first match in Anaheim.
At the Spring Arena 1, it was MKP versus Dongregu. It was game 7, and it was tense. And the spawn positions were not favored for Dongregu, so the casters were like, oh no, he's gonna be really upset.
I mean, let's talk about these spots. When Marine King finds out where DRG is, he is actually just going to dance, man.
And then he goes for this Baneling bust. It's a really high, risky strategy.
Oh my God. Here we go. This is probably going to be decided right this second.
The whole bar was holding their breath. They're like, oh my God, is the Baneling's gonna work?
DRG, amazing play here, breaking through.
And then it worked, and DRG won and beat MKP for the first time.
Everything just exploding. Just a moment. Oh, and DRG, he breaks the curse. He is overwhelmed. DRG has slain a legend.
The changes that happen in the strategy across the game, it's all them. You know, we put in units and we try to make them clean and solid and have a clear role, but we have no idea how anybody's actually going to use any of these things exactly. We can make some guesses, but they frequently show us what is possible. I think one of my favorite game moments would be Nesty's use of sort of advanced spine crawlers in a game against a Protoss player where he blocked a fast expand by putting creep in front of the Protoss player's base, and I had no idea what he was doing. I don't think the casters knew what he was doing.
This is important. What's happening? What is he doing? Try to predict it, because I actually do not know what he's doing.
And suddenly there was these spine crawlers all in front of this next. It was absolutely awesome.
Oh my God! Oh my God, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. This has a trillion IQ. I have never seen this before in my entire life.
This game has so much depth and so much going into it that you didn't just sit down and play. It's not a DDR where like you're gonna dance your feet to a different song. This is, every single game is independent event where you're playing against, sure, maybe a similar opponent, but there's so many different factors that go into it that every game is individual.
You know, baseball is always baseball. And baseball at Yankee Stadium between the Yankees and the Red Sox is always that game, but it's not. Each game is new and fresh. Of course, all of the drama associated with a match between two players, whether it's your favorite player, your most hated player, or whatever, is incredibly exciting, and that's always fresh. You don't know what's going to happen. You're excited to see the result. It's a sport in that sense.
That's what any competitive activity, any sport, that's a beautiful thing about this. And every single time we have these events, we create those moments, both for the people in the room, the thousands of people who show up, but also the hundreds of thousands who tune in.
With the help of new technology, millions of people have viewed tournaments in over 200 countries. Major League Gaming alone broadcast over 15 million hours of pro circuit content in 2011. In this same year, Blizzard hosted 7 regional tournaments and televised the finals at BlizzCon with thousands of live spectators.
I think that the growth of esports in general is simply related to changing tastes in media. This generation is into demanding the exact content they want and not settling for anything less. The internet, streaming, YouTube VODs can provide all of that to them with a huge amount of variety available. They can pick their exact taste in commentator. You can't even do that in real sports.
We can get these games easily all over the world, and you know, people like MLG and GSL, they do this all the time where they get, you know, people from 180 countries or something insane watching these broadcasts.
500,000 people tuning in at one time during the day, millions of people over the course of a weekend, 175 countries. It's just, the scale is there now because that passion that was evident in those small pockets of community in the beginning those were the seeds, and they've grown and they've spread, and now you see so much more of that.
Just as the StarCraft community helped promote esports in the past, fans today take the lead in transforming local bars to create Barcraft events. There, StarCraft II matches litter the screens to create even more excitement in local communities.
I want to say hi to Andrew from Star Nation at the Austin Barcraft. What's up, guys?
Having beers, having cheers, and watching some amazing StarCraft II.
I think you could really see things change once Barcraft started to happen.
The idea that, you know, you probably could have told someone 6 years ago that you're crazy, like that'll never happen, but look at what, you know, there's like 60 Barcrafts just this weekend.
You know, when there's a big tournament, I usually look and see if there's a local Barcraft here in Irvine, and it's a lot of fun watching the games live with other fans of the sport.
There's a ton of different types of people that come to these. There's the hardcore StarCraft fans who are staying up till 4 in the morning, and then there's the more casual crowd who just love the idea of watching StarCraft and having a beer.
It's just a good gathering place. Everyone shares a common interest.
Eventually I just met all these guys, and so I kept up to date with Barcraft and especially StarCraft after that.
It's a great feeling to be around those who love the game. And can come out and support and watch all these great games that some people might not have access to.
Ultimately, the sport grew because of the passion in the community and the experiences they shared with one another.
The esports community is, I think, at the height that I've ever seen it.
You know, the community has always been the forward pushers, and I think right now the community realizes, you know what? As a collective, we've got a lot of power.
I think it just comes down to straight up passion from the community. Without that, you can't really have esports. It's not possible.
Yeah. StarCraft and Blizzard games, in fact, Blizzard games in general wouldn't be where they are because it's the community that kind of guide Blizzard. It's their feedback that allows Blizzard to then kind of know what is going to make this the best game.
That's what it's all about. It's bringing the community together, supporting them, and giving them, you know, something that they can rally around. Something that they can all come together around and say, you know what, this thing is a great representation of something we love.
There's a secret cult of people out there that want to see this just get as big as it can possibly be. You know, guys like Tasteless and Artosis and GSL, you know, guys like Day 9, and then just gamers everywhere, guys doing Barcrafts. We want to change the world. We want to see if we can make this a thing that is something that is, the sort of the entertainment for the 21st millennium. And we feel like we're on the cusp of doing it. We feel like, kind of smell the potential for victory here, smell the potential to break into the mainstream, get to a point where I can turn on ESPN, you know, on a Saturday night and watch, you know, a great game of StarCraft. You know, wouldn't that be absolutely awesome?
With an amazing, creative, and proactive esports community, the future looks very bright.
Well, we just had an awesome day here at MLG Anaheim, and with a few more matches to go, we're all about to tune in. So wherever you are, do enjoy Heart of the Swarm and keep spreading the esports love.